I fell asleep. All right, everybody, you know what time it is. The Real Talk Sports Show is coming up right now. And welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we thank God for those of you who decided to join us here this evening for another live broadcast of the Real Talk Sports Show. Or if you're watching it some other day, that's great as well. We appreciate you for tuning in and checking us out here. Sorry for the late start. Um, I'll tell you in just a minute. We had a little situation, and it's telling me that I probably need to investigate into getting more sleep. Yeah, I need to maybe look into getting more sleep because believe it or not, I was right in the middle of getting ready for the show. I just eaten dinner, everything was great, and all of a sudden, like my daughter's like, "Dad, are you still doing the show?" I was like, "Hmm," and I looked at the clock, and it was after 8 o'clock. But praise the Lord, we're here right now. We thank God for all those of you again have tuned in to watch us or listen to us. Remember, follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. And that's on all social media, YouTube, whatever the situation is, you can find us right there. Real Talk Sports, the number 7. So please, man, please, sir, go ahead and tune in and check us out. All right, let's get back to the nitty gritty here. As you know, guys, anytime I do the show, we like to bring on one of the most beautiful women in the sports talk radio or TV. We simply call the Queen. Tree Dolman is back in the building. Tree, welcome back.
Hello, Jonathan. Hi, everybody. Did
Oh,
I hear you correctly that you fell asleep?
yeah, I want to show you what it looked like just moments ago when you were texting me, and then when I saw you, I finally saw you in the green room. I know what was going on. I didn't even know where I was. This is what it looked like.
You want to know what's funny? I did not know what that noise was. I just thought you were like moving around or something because I could hear
No,
the noise when I was in the green room waiting. That is hilarious. Oh, you're tired. You need some more rest.
yeah, that was me snoring. I was like, and it's funny 'cause my daughter was like, she didn't hear anything. She was like, Dad, you still doing the show? I was like, hmm.
That's why I
I
text
look at
you.
the clock, it's
Oh,
8:13. I said, oh.
I've been waiting.
I said, yeah, I guess I better do something. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, and the crazy thing is I got everything set. You know, I ate early. I said, let me come up. I'll try to get some stats. I literally was adding some stats on, and that's the last thing I remember. I was trying to pull up something about Angel Reese, and then next thing you know, Dad. Oh boy. Anyway, speaking of Angel Reese, she is in town tonight along with with the lovely Miss Cordoza and all of the Chicago Sky, also our hometown heroine. Ms. Diamond DeShields is part of that team as well, and they're all in town now as they're playing against the Dream. By any chance, do you have a score update treat? Because I couldn't see anything when I tried to click on here.
I do not.
All right, let's see if we can get a score update here from the game. And then also coming up later on in the evening, for those of you who are now become, or whether you were in the past, a WNBA fan, we have another showdown. The Fever squaring off against the two-time defending champion Las Vegas Aces. That's going on tonight about 9:30. So as soon as you finish this game, you can hop right in and jump right into that next game because that should be a good one. Let's get an update here
Yeah,
from
well,
tonight's
I
game.
want to update. I just wanted to say that something Sunday made my heart proud. It was a man. We were out playing basketball, and one of the men that was on my team grabbed his phone when he sat down on the bench, and he was like, I gotta watch Angel Reese. And that just really made my heart smile because normally when you're out and about, like you always see men grabbing their phones to watch the football games or the NBA games. But I love that he grabbed his phone while he was out to watch the WNBA game and said that he had to watch Angel Reese. I said, great job, WNBA. Great job, Angel Reese. That's what I'm talking about, getting that viewership up. And it really just made my heart smile. And I haven't stopped smiling since because every time I think about it, it just puts another big smile on my face because that's what we're getting to. And that's what I want to see our men watching and supporting the WNBA. And so many arenas selling out, constantly selling out, selling out. The game tonight is a sellout. So I'm just so proud of the WNBA right now. So great job.
As you should be, and that's one of the reasons why I am tonight behind at the studio with you and not the game because literally they sent me a notification and said, "Listen, unfortunately, they said due to the number of press that already are here, we don't have any more room
Yeah.
because the game's being played here at the stadium in College Park, and they really don't have a real large section for the media, and so consequently, they said, "We love you, bro, but you're gonna have to." Check us out from TV. They said, or check out the Zoom and do the post game that way. They said because we just do not have enough room. Of course, I was a little disappointed because I certainly was hoping to catch up with Diamond the Shields and let people hear a little bit about her story. For those people who don't know how she, came back from, really a very severe injury. Couldn't walk for a while. I mean, it was really crazy. And to see her back, playing the WNBA, getting a chance to, play in front of her mom a couple of times a year here in Atlanta. I know her mom, travels to see her all over the place, but it's kind of cool, that story. So hopefully at some point in time we'll be able to do that. But nevertheless, yeah, it's a lot of excitement. I mean,
Yeah.
the games themselves, um, ladies are playing. Again, I don't want to take anything away from the ladies that played in the earlier era because they were great as well. But certainly a lot of energy, a lot of excitement behind the women at this point. Angel Reese, somebody kind of said something when she mentioned that, hey, look, at the end of the day, I'm also one of the reasons why people are watching. And the guy was like, well, what you talking about? Caitlin Clark is really driving the train. And then he actually defeated himself with the next comment in the stats. He said, okay, the average WNBA game was drawing around 7,300 people, and the average Clayton Clark game, because they had to move them, obviously, averaged just around 15,000. Then he said the games that Angel Reese plays in, they average over 10,000. So she was basically right in saying that, hey, look, I moved the needle as well. Whether you like her style or her energy, it's irrelevant. They're both doing a phenomenal job in terms of bringing more and more viewers to watch the WNBA.
Very true. And the main thing that she was talking about wasn't the viewers that come out to watch her in the WNBA. What she was saying is that the numbers really started growing for the NCAA championship game, which she played in. That's where all of the big hype originally started. And yeah, but you're right. People watch Caitlin Clark and they come to watch Angel Reese. Those are, I
Yeah.
would say, two hottest rookies that people are watching, and even outside of rookies, a lot of people, yeah, they come watch some of the veterans. But let's be real. Anytime you see any game, more people watch Caitlin Clark outside of anybody else. Anytime you watch any WNBA game that Caitlin Clark is playing in, all you see is number 22 shirts, jerseys in the crowd. That's all you see. They're there for her. So, but yes, I am very proud because she's right. Angel Reese was definitely correct. People are coming to see her too, and she's a big reason as to why the viewership has increased in the WNBA. And a lot of people like watching her. Just like I said, the gentleman Sunday, he grabbed his phone. I gotta watch Angel Reese. So he was excited to watch Angel Reese because she plays great basketball, and it is very exciting to watch.
So the big question would be for a lot of people, have in fact Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark lived up to the hype so far during this first season that they both have played? What do you think, Tree? Have they lived up to the hype so far? What do you think?
I do. I think that they have. I mean, don't get me wrong. We expect, at least people at Play Sports expected, a slow start. It is a large adjustment coming from college basketball going to the WNBA, whereas like Diana Taurasi said, you're coming up against some grown women. So I expected a slow start, but the other day I know that Caitlin Clark was this close to being the first rookie ever to average a triple double. It's never been done by a rookie in the WNBA, and she was one rebound away from averaging a triple double. Angel Reese is scoring big points and helping her team succeed, blocking shots. So I do think that they are living up to the hype, both of them. And they're starting to feel comfortable. They're starting to get into their rhythms with the teams and realize their value, because I do think at some point they were kind of, it's an adjustment period. And but now they're starting to feel their value even more and know that, hey, we're here for a reason. We were drafted high for a reason, and it's just, let's just go out here and play ball, which is what they're both doing. So yes, I think they are living up to the hype. What do you think?
The numbers don't lie. The realities are, after a slow start by both of them, and a lot of it, especially for Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark, they're playing. I think they said that they were playing in the first 10 or 11 games when they went 2-9, that only one of the teams had an under 500 record. So they right off the rip had to have a very, very tough schedule. And since that point, Caitlin Clark has really gotten to a rhythm. And the same thing to some degree with Angel Reese. If you look at their stats, and let's take a look at them. In the case of Caitlin Clark, she is in the top 20 in the league in scoring. She's averaging right around 16 points a game. And here's the shocker. She is third in the league in assists. She's averaging over 6 assists a game.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, in the case of Angel Reese, she is averaging a double-double for the season. She's averaging
Yeah.
just around 12 points a game, and she is either number one or number two in the league in rebounding at 11.1 rebounds a game. So I
Yeah.
don't think it gets too much better than that. These two rookies are putting up some big numbers, and like you said again, numbers don't lie. And the other night when they squared off against one another in an epic ball game, both of them played extremely well. Clark, 13 assists to go along with 17 points. And Adrian Reese, he just balled out, 26 points and 15 rebounds, 2 blocks, as their team came from behind to win late with about a minute to go in that game. So, yeah, I mean, in that game, everybody's eyes was glued to the set as it went right down to the wire. And I'm
Yeah.
sure tonight people are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So,
It's
yep.
great basketball to watch. And don't get me wrong, I'm not taking away from any of the other games prior, because you may or may not know, I used to always go to the WNBA games and go watch the Atlanta Dream. And I told you my favorite arena to go and watch for the WNBA was the Phoenix Mercury. They had the best atmosphere and everything. And so the basketball has always been great. I think what it is now is just people are starting to realize how great the women's basketball game is. And I think another thing that is really helping the game is that now you're starting to see more glamorous girls out there playing as well, which people can relate to and see. So it's not just, I don't think it's just what they're doing on the court that a lot of people are loving. They're loving what they're doing off the court. And that's bringing more viewership.
Well, no doubt. You have a situation, especially if you look at Angel Reese, she has become quite the fashionista. A young lady who was interestingly, and I'd love to find out more information on what happened, but a young lady whose dad actually, her father passed away, played in the NBA. I want to say her last name is Gondrzek. I want to say her first name is Kurse Gondrzek. She, along with Angel Reese, had been just, in the pregame fits. They had been, just lighting it up. I mean, just true fashionistas. All of a sudden, she was cut. Now, I'm hoping,
Oh, I think I saw her. Okay.
right? I'm hoping it's not because that in a week or two prior, they had footage of her riding in the parade with the Celtics. So, I mean, it seemed like it was odd that right after that. She's like, whoop, goodbye. So I don't know if she broke
I
any
hadn't
team rules.
it.
I mean, it just was odd to me. I'm just saying, was it that? I have no idea because it didn't mention anything. It just said she was cut, and I was like, well, why was she cut?
Well, around this time though, every year this happens.
Okay.
So when they
Well,
first,
I was trying to get some kind of update from you, so that
yeah,
makes some
when they
sense. Okay.
first start the season, they have a larger team, and then they start cutting people. Like a lot of times it's veterans, sometimes a lot of times it's rookies. I don't know if you remember, I think it was like 2 years ago when we were talking on the show, and I was saying how awful it was, how many rookies got drafted but then got cut, so they didn't get to play. Remember, I was talking about how we need to have more teams so that these talented girls can have a place to play. But unfortunately, it happens in the WNBA season. I don't know if you remember the last season for, what's the girl that's on the television shows, and she used to play for the Atlanta Dream, Ty, what's her, anyway, she has a clothing line, Ty One, something like that. But
Okay.
anyway, when she was playing her last season, she got cut from the team, and it wasn't at the very beginning, so this happens, unfortunately. So when I saw, because I did see that she got cut, and then it was just like, okay, she's another one got cut, but there's going to be a couple of more players that get cut. Is what you see happens. Typically it happens because the team doesn't think that they're good enough or a good fit for the team, so they'll cut them. I know one player got cut from Seattle Storm, I want to say halfway through the season, and then she got picked up by the Atlanta Dream. And some players get picked up, some don't. But she was a veteran, played for many years, and she got cut. So you just the teams just always, it's tough. Let's just put it that way. It's really tough to stay in the WNBA because they will cut you if they don't think you're a good fit, or if you're not producing the numbers that they thought you were going to produce. They will cut you.
I knew that there was a reason behind that. So I was trying to figure out what they cut her for. I said, man, she's bringing all this buzz. I mean, again, I wasn't hearing her stats on the court, so I didn't know how good she was. Like you said, she just happened to be very glamorous, and her pregame fits, along with Angel Reese, were really very fashionable. But nevertheless, I'm sure she'll get picked back up by somebody if her skill sets warrant that. All right, guys. Speaking of coming back, you got to come back because we're taking a quick break. You're watching the Real Talk Sports Show. Now that I'm wide awake, so stay tuned for more. It's just a minute. Don't go anywhere. Thank you. Hey, sports fans, tune in for live high school football Fridays, 7:30 p.m. on RealTalkSports.net. Check out your favorite Metro Atlanta teams as they do battle on the gridiron. It's your high school game of the week, live streaming free Friday nights on RealTalkSports.net. For more sports coverage and great sports talk, catch the Real Talk Sports Show Tuesdays, 8 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. Brought to you by Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, a business giving back to their community. Give them a call at 678-364-3979 or check them out online at AllenVigilFord.net.
Looking for a vehicle? Come to Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We're a family-owned dealership that's been serving the Atlanta area for over 40 years, offering an unbeatable selection of new Fords, Lincolns, and pre-owned vehicles. Enjoy our exceptional customer service and great financing options tailored just for you. Visit us at 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard in Morrow, Georgia, located just 20 minutes from downtown Atlanta. Call us at 678-364-3979 or visit online at alanvigilford.net.
All right, we're back here on the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons, and right next to me is the lovely, the Queen, Tree Dolman. Yeah, so like I said, WNBA is red hot, red hot, red hot. And speaking of that, let's go to a score update. And we are in quarter number 4, just under 8 minutes to go. And the Chicago Sky have a narrow lead over the Atlanta Dream, 68-66. As both teams are battling to try to pull this one off. The Dream actually led at halftime, but the Sky has come back to take the lead 68-66. Let's look at some of the stats. Angel Reese, we were talking about before. Once again, another double-double already in the books, 12 points and 10 rebounds for Miss Reese. Chandy Carter, a young lady, is not talked about a lot on this team, but she is leading the scores for the Sky, 16 points for her, and Dana Evans with 14 points, rounding it up for the Sky. Meanwhile, for the Dream, they call the OGTC, Tina Charles, in her mid-30s, continuing to be the star in the absence of Ryan Howard, 17 points, 8 rebounds to be amongst the leaders in the Dream. And, of course, the 3,000-point gal, Alicia Gray, leads all scorers with 19 points and 4 assists. So the dynamic duo of Gray and Charles holding it down for the Dream, but they trail right now with about 7.5 minutes to go, 68-66. And that's the score update right there from
We
right
need this
here in
thing.
Atlanta.
Right now, we're ahead of Chicago. We need to keep it that way.
Yeah, actually, it's interesting. The three, because they literally played back to back to back. The Fever, the Sky, and the Dream are all battling for that last playoff spot in the WNBA. And the Dream, you're right, they have, I think it's a half game lead, so they really need to win this game tonight to stay in front of both teams, especially the Sky. So hopefully they can do so, because it's pretty exciting. I mean, you mentioned about the games you enjoyed. I go back a little bit further to the days of Angel McCoughtry and when they were playing for a while at Georgia Tech. And I loved that when it was over there. I mean, the end game was not as exciting as it is now, but certainly the play on the court was outstanding. I remember that memorable series they had against the Washington Mystics when the year the Mystics actually won the WNBA title, and the powerful El Deladon shocked them and ended up being a dominant figure in that series as the Mystics, beat the Dream in 5 games. But that was must-see TV. It was great. And I think, like you mentioned, I think we talked about this before, the Angel not been injured. Who knows? The Dream could have went to the WNBA title themselves. But, yeah, just great stuff going on in women's basketball. And the
I
Olympics are
just
coming up, too,
say,
on
since we're
top of that.
talking about great teams, let's not forget how awesome the Detroit Shock was. The Detroit Shock was actually the number 1 and best team in the WNBA. Let's not forget about that. I will never forget about them, because we were number 1. We won all these championships. We were dominant. And then what happened? They sold the Detroit Shock to Tulsa, and then they became the Tulsa Shock. And then they went to Dallas, and now they're the Dallas Wings. But anyway, I will never let people forget about my Detroit Shock, because we were the best WNBA team and we were number 1 until we were sold. So, oh well.
Yep, coached by a man that at least guys from my neck of the woods did not like, Bill Lambier, the bully, but nevertheless was an outstanding WNBA coach, and was led by a very strong woman whose dad played in the WNBA. Karl Malone's daughter was a key player on that team as well. So, yeah, a big shout out to the Detroit Shock. Lambier and the group there really put together quite an outstanding team. Yeah, it's too bad the team had to get sold off and moved. Like you said, I didn't realize they moved twice. I forgot the Wings were were them. Wow, that's
Yep.
crazy.
Oh, I followed. Listen, because again, they were my Detroit Shock. Then they went to Tulsa. Then they went to Dallas. And I was like, man, that still breaks my heart. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm still heartbroken about that. I was like, what? I mean, I used to watch, I used to go to the games, especially when they played down here and different things. That broke my heart when they sold our team. It's like, man. So yes, I followed my Detroit Shock, and then when they went to Tulsa, I was just like, ugh. I wasn't watching them anymore, but you know.
All right, let's go to social media. I think we got some activity on social media. While I'm getting my glasses, Tree, can you tell us who that is that jumped on board?
Yeah, oh, it's Sullivan. He said, oh, shucky ducky. Guess who's back? Hey, Sullivan. Pastor J Slice, but not on the green.
Not on the green, baby. Yes, step on the green.
Not on
and
the
he simply
green.
says,
Free. Hey, Sullivan.
Man, best burgers around, guys. Remember, go to Village Burger. They have a location in Johns Creek, another location in Alpharetta, and another location in Cummings. Check them out. Everything made fresh. And, really, if you want a good place to sit down and eat and get great service, you can check them out. Like you said, Village Burger Restaurant. Let's go back to social media. He's like, yeah, let's go.
It's so good. Let me tell
food is
you.
outstanding.
Sullivan can tell you, I am always at Village Burger now. I've had so many Caesar salads. The other day, I got me a grilled. Well, I got two, one for me and one for my dad. But I got 2 grilled chicken sandwiches because I love their grilled chicken sandwich. Man, I'm telling you, they have great food. Great food.
Let me see if I still got that video hanging around of when we went. Let me see if I can find that here in the archives. Let me see if I can pull that up. Let's take a peek here if we can find that time we went up there. Let's see if we got something here somewhere on film that we can show people just how good that meal was for us. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see. Come to Papa. Okay, guys, as you can see, Sully told the truth as advertised. This is a turkey burger and fries. And the queen has, what do you have?
Chicken. I have a wonderful chicken sandwich with cheese, lemonade, no ice, and fries.
Good stuff. And there's mine, and we're about to chow down. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Very, very tasty meal. Thank you, Sully, for your hospitality there.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of hospitality, we got to be good hosts because I think in the green room, we have lurking a champion. That's right. 2-time Super Bowl champion, National Black College Alumni Hall of Famer, first ever Carolina Panthers defensive draft selection. I'm talking about the one and only Tyrone Poole is back in the building. What's going on, sir?
Yeah, what's going on, people?
I got to get close to that screen, baby. You gotta get close.
What's happening? Hey, it made me think of a Fred Sanford. I don't know if anybody Fred Sanford, Sanford's son. That's my favorite sitcom, man. Never gets old. There's a scene where Lamont and Rollo, they were managing this group called the 3 Degrees. So they went to the Safari Club, to perform, right? So they invited Fred, Bubba, Leroy, and Skillet, right? And again, you had to be a Sanford Son fan to know those characters that I'm talking about, right? But so the guy comes out, the announcer, right? And he says, what's happening? What's happening, everybody? What's happening? Just like somebody would come out, who's the host or what have you. And Leroy said, no, Skillet said, everything. And then Leroy said, what you want to happen? Hey, that's how the old folk talk, but the old folk like, everything's happening. What you want to happen?
What you want, what you got. No doubt. Well, Tyrone, what you want to happen?
Man, look at here. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It's a lot of things, man. I don't know. What you want me to say what I want to happen? give me some categories.
Hey, listen, as long as it's something good, brother, I don't care what it is. I don't care what you want going on. You can high school football, college football, basketball. As long as it's something good, I don't care.
Man, playoff. I just hope we can win a game.
Man, listen, I was watching that clip the other day.
Playoffs.
They had the greatest sports rants, and they had him.
I know he was
They
number
had
one.
yeah, they had him. They had Denny Green, where he says they were who we thought they were.
We had them. What he say? They were who we thought they were. If you want to crown, go on and crown them. But they were who we thought they were, and we let them out.
Oh man! And they had I don't know if you guys remember. There was a guy by the name of Hal McRae, outstanding baseball player for the Kansas City Royals, that became the manager. And they would obviously come into the manager's office back in those days and do the post game. And man, he flipped out, threw everything off his desk, threw the reporters out. The reporters like ran for the exit.
Did he put his pants down? Did he put his pants down or something?
I think he was about to, but he started throwing everything like crazy, knocked over the pitcher, threatened one of the reporters. Man, them guys, when I'm telling you, them guys fled every which way but loose. They were like, look, we're out of here. The cameraman was getting bullied over. The guys like, look, he ain't hitting me, bro. I'm out. There's a D. Right. Woo. Yeah, some crazy stuff. All right, let's go back to social media here. And Sully's giving us an update. Tree, he says he now has, what's that? How many locations?
7 locations.
Yep. I think he's got more breaking news. Just had a birthday, huh?
Had a birthday?
That's what he says. Or is that beat age? Well, then he says Red Fox. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's saying there.
Happy birthday. Am I not on the screen?
Yeah, something happened. You disappeared.
I wonder if I did something because I tried to zoom in so I could read the
There you go. You're coming back. Something happened. Oh. All right.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna leave out and come back in because I don't know what I
did. All right, me and Tyrone hold we'll hold it down.
Hey, that made me think of Color Purple. Color Purple. Everybody seen the Color Purple, the first one, when the grandpa, Miss Sophia, played by Oprah Winfrey. She hadn't said nothing all day. Then she started talking, right? The granddad said, "The dead has arisen." Miss Sophia. But again, you have to see a movie to understand how funny it is. But anybody see Color Purple, that scene there, boy. He said, "The dead has arisen."
Man, I tell you, man, it really is amazing, when you think back about that movie, how it really changed the perspective of everyone about Oprah Winfrey. I mean, we knew that she was obviously a tremendous on-air personality, but I don't think anybody knew, how great of an actress she was. Nobody knew. And all of a sudden that movie, it was like she held her own with some outstanding actors and actors on that movie, man. So that was kind of a coming out party for her. Now, I tell you, man, it's really amazing when I look around and see all the stuff that's going on, and you look in the news, all the crazy stuff happening, the rumors, about her, rumors about this person, that person. Yeah, it's just real crazy, man. But anyway, that movie was one of the all-time great movies of all time. And I think the Queen is back. Let's take a peek here.
Red Fox. He know about Red Fox. He know about Red Fox, Sanford and Son.
Yeah, he did. Yep. Yeah, he knew he was. Mm-hmm. Look, the famous line. Remember this, Tyrone?
I'm coming home, Elizabeth. He grabbed a child.
One of the all-time favorites. Yep, there it is.
And see, I can go on and talk about Sanford and Son. That's my show, man. That's my show. But
it was a classic show, man. I mean, when you really look back at like many of those sitcoms from that era, from I say probably the mid 70s into the late 80s, early 90s, man, there were some classic shows that were done that I'm not trying to say you don't get those. I mean, you've had some other shows after that, but shows like that, man, they were classics.
What about sports show? What about sports show? You got a favorite sports show? What's your favorite sports show? Like sports movie?
Sports movie. Well, I tell you, one of my favorites was what's his name? Everybody's favorite. One of my favorites was Field of Dreams. I always liked that movie. I saw it was kind of the whole way it was set up, especially with James Earl Jones towards the end. I thought that was real cool. And then what was one of my other one of the other ones I liked a lot? Sports movies. Oh man, Ashevich. Blue Chip was pretty good with Shaq and those guys. That was a pretty good movie.
Mhm.
And I was trying to think of anything else I like on terms of sports tip. And of course, what's his name with Denzel, the
Yeah,
Titans.
yeah, remember the Titans?
Remember the Titans?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he
How
said
about you?
he told him, he said, when Denzel came to coach the high school, the other coach said, he said, yeah, I see you've coached at 2 or 3, about 4 or 5 programs. And he said, yeah, with about 4 or 5 titles too.
Yeah, man, listen, that was really a great movie. It really was, man. Those are classics. Those are classics. All right, let's see if we get the Queen back in the building. Let's see what we got here. Survey says,
I want to
ding.
know my favorite movie. Loving
Come on.
basketball.
Tree.
Loving basketball. Let me.
Loving basketball.
I'm
Yeah.
not trying to sit and speak while the movie is going on, but I literally know every line, every scene. I've seen that movie so many times. It is always my favorite movie, still to this day, hands down. And I saw it at the movie theater when it came out. I love that movie.
All right, well, here we go, Tree. Here we go, monologue time. Monologue time. All right, they out playing basketball, right? They out playing basketball, and she comes over. He said, "What are we playing for?" What did she tell him?
Your heart.
Oh, Tree watched it. Yeah, she got it.
And let me tell you, my favorite line: "Double or nothing." Yes.
Tyrone, Tree like that movie, bro. He said, look, the whole
I know,
camera,
it's
the
a
screen
good
was
movie.
shaking, everything.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
a really good movie. Yeah.
Yes.
It was, yep.
For so many reasons. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a classic. I forgot. You know, it's funny because I forgot about that movie. But I mean, they've had like watch parties over the years for that movie, all kind of stuff. Yeah, it is definitely a classic, no doubt about it. And who knows? We might see more of that now.
There you go.
Who knows? We might start to see more of that going on now. We thought we'd see a little bit of it. It was really more than football, but unfortunately, it did not last. They broke up lately. The guy that played tight end for the Raiders had married Kelsey Plum.
Waller.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah, just recently. I guess he's he's having some kind of challenges, and she basically said, "Hey, look, I just couldn't, stay in the situation." She said, "I really try to do everything I can, but they're out." Yeah, man, because I was thinking they look like a great couple, but things happen. What are you gonna do?
yeah, that's true. There's a lot of WNBA players that date football players or other athletes, and that one football player is dating a soccer player. So I just love love. I think it's beautiful.
Yep. Well, speaking of basketball players, let's go back here for another score update from right down the road. And with 3.5 minutes to play, we're all tied up. Dream 72, Chicago Sky 72, with just under 4 minutes to go, about 3.5 minutes to play in that ball game. Again, both of these teams battling for the right now last playoff spot. And it's actually being held by the Dream by 1/2 game over the Sky and about a game and a half or two over the Fever. Well, no disrespect to the Dream, but I think I know who the WNBA and the TV guys would want to see in the playoffs. I think they would very much want to see the Fever and the Sky both get in. But like I said, it's best team on the field will win. And right now, Atlanta is playing shorthanded. They don't have their all-star Ryan Howard with them. So kudos to them for hanging in there as they continue to battle to retain that playoff spot. Well, speaking of basketball, let's shift gears to the men. Let's talk about the Atlanta Hawks and also talk a little about the NBA free agency. Okay, let's go back quickly reviewing the Hawks. As you know, had the #1 overall draft pick this year. I think it's the first time in Atlanta history. #1 overall. And they decided to pick a Frenchman, Zachary Rissache. A lot of guys are saying they think he's going to be a poor man's SGA, and I'm referring to the SGA that was dominant for the Oklahoma City Thunder this year. A guy averaged over 30 points a game, and they're saying at some point in time, Reese could in fact turn out to be that type of player. And then as free agency rolled around, we had a trade that I don't say shook up the world. Everybody knew somebody had to go, I think. But my man, DeJounte Murray is gone. Traded for 2 draft picks and a couple of players. I personally would have preferred they maybe get 1 more year with DeJounte because I like his attitude. I like his leadership, but they said we can't have 2 guys that like to dribble the ball, and DeJounte is out of there. All right,
What
Trey, I see you winning over there. What do you think about that trade? Well, first of all, what do you think about the draft pick of Zachary Richarchet from France?
He's talking
Any
to
thoughts about him?
Tyrone.
I don't know if can you still hear me?
Yeah, I said, who are you talking to, Tyrone or myself?
No, you first. You first. So my question is, what are your thoughts about the Hawks taking the Frenchman instead of going with, there was 2 big men, the big man from Purdue, Eddie, and it was also Donovan out of UConn. They bypassed on both of those guys. What do you think about them taking Richard Shea? And then what do you think about the trade of our man DeJounte Murray?
Well, 2 things. One, I don't really know much about the guy from France, but I do know that there's a lot of great basketball players that come out of France. And so just curious to see what he will do. But France had 2 guys that went in the top 5, and they produce when they come. So I don't think it's a bad move, just going off of history of what happens with the great players in France nowadays. And as far as DeJounte Murray, I had no clue. That's breaking news to me. I mean, I've been swamped and clearly not keeping up with the Hawks, but that's a shocker for me because I really thought that he was someone that they were going to keep on the roster, especially with how he produces and his scoring and his defense. So that really, you just shocked me a lot. But hey,
Yeah.
knew that, at least I felt like some moves had to be made because they have to shake up some things. We've had pretty much almost the same roster. We got a new coach. There's only so many things you can do. They got to do something to shake up the team and bring in some talent to win.
Tyrone, your thoughts about the Hawks going outside the country? This has been a recent trend with this Richard Shea. And then also, what are your thoughts on them trading DeJounte Murray, a guy who I thought had that dog in him?
You know what? I have to side with Tree. I everything she said. She's the most knowledgeable woman that I know coming to sports, right? But I will say this: all these reporters, I'm pretty sure when the Hawks drafted, they were like, "Okay, let's see how we pronounce the name." How long did it take you to get his name down, Jonathan?
I don't know. If you don't say, when I was in high school, so I knew the name was Richard. And I was going to say to him, "Bonjour, Monsieur Richard." That was it.
So you had an easy transitioning.
Yeah, that's pretty easy for me.
Well, everybody else is probably scrambling. But at the end of the day, the Hawks did what they felt like they had to do. That's all I got to say. And, basketball is one of those sports where I think you got to have multiple good players. You got to have a good bench. So, but of course, I guess they felt like Devontae Murray, he didn't work out like they wanted. So they had to get back what they thought they could get back to recoup. But at the end of the day, it's business, man. It's all business.
It is. There's no doubt about it. The Hawks, I think, were in a position where to get DeJounte, they had to give up multiple first-round draft picks, and that was part of the deal in this trade. They got back the 2025 first-round pick and the 2027 first-round pick in this trade that they did. So I guess they're saying, hey, look, man, we got to try to make some things happen. But our man DeJounte Murray, he's gone. He has left the building, and he's gone on now to – let me make sure I got this right here. My mind kind of just went to a blank. But, bottom line is he has moved on to the New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh.
He's to New Orleans Pelicans. He is now Pelican. So now imagine, Pelicans weren't too bad last year, went to playoffs. Imagine them now with DeJounte and Zion. Because, I think that DeJounte's going to push Zion. And so look here, man, I mean, you got to keep that weight right, because we trying to win something here. So it should be very, very interesting.
Zion
And
plays well. He just has injuries. If he didn't have a lot of injuries, I think they'll be fine. When he's on the court, he produces.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, the guy is he's a load. I mean, he's a very tough guy to handle down there in that paint. So we shall see. And meanwhile, they're still rumbling around that Trey might be traded.
Hey, I wouldn't doubt anything at this point.
Yeah, the Hawks are an odd they're an odd team. I mean, a lot of people are talking about, hey, we should just, break this team up, start from scratch. I don't know what to say. All I know is Trey is probably he's probably had about enough all his chit chat behind him. They said here that Trey Young had some type of cryptic text, and all he did was just have he had a thank you sign, thank you emoji on his Twitter, and that was it. So we don't know if he's saying thank you to the fans. Fans are trying to read something into it. Yeah, it is. Tree's laughing.
Because people are funny. I mean, you can say thank you for a lot of things. It doesn't mean that you're leaving. I want people to realize also that he is either one of the owners, a majority owner of the pickleball to professional pickleball team that's here in Georgia. I mean, oh my goodness, people are funny.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as it hit that way, of course, fans going wild. People saying it's been traded to the Warriors because speaking of trades, there's been a lot going on. Another big trade, Klay Thompson is gone.
Bye-bye.
Klay Thompson traded from the Warriors to the Dallas Mavericks. So now the Mavericks have him, Kyrie, and Luka. And this is a team that went to the NBA Finals. So Dallas looking strong. Paul George.
All y'all to know, I'm saying it now because I'm a Klay Thompson fan. So unfortunately, that means that now I'll be cheering for Dallas just because I'm cheering for Klay. But interesting. Not over my Pistons and my Warriors, though.
Yep, but he's there. And another big move, another big name is traded. CP3 will now be wearing the white, silver, and black of the San Antonio Spurs. So CP3 now will be joined up with Wembanyama.
What?
It has been a trade palooza. And the last one, the Philadelphia 76ers will welcome to their team after losing Tobias Harris in free agency, Paul George.
That's a good one.
Yep. So a lot going on in the NBA with is being a trade palooza.
Yeah.
I mean, people just
a real one too, because these are big names.
Right.
Still more to come.
Yep, a lot of changes going on. I'll ask both of you guys. I mean, when these types of quantum shifts happen, where you have a guy's been a star with another team for a while, how does that affect the dynamic when someone like that comes into a new team? If you've experienced that, just kind of give us some feedback to what happens when you have a guy who's been a superstar, another team, all of a sudden he pops in and is put into another team. Tree, have you experienced that? And if so, how did it work out?
I think Tyrone is best suited to answer this question, but in my sport, we didn't really have that happening that much. There was one veteran player that came in, but they realized that it was our team, and so they were trying to fit in and just make things happen. The thing is, when people put ego aside and your main mission is team and winning a championship, it tends to typically work out. But I don't know about men and things, because with the NBA they have different role players and things of that nature, so it's a little different.
Tyrone, you played in the league for over a decade. Your experience with seeing guys come in, especially star players from another team, come onto a team that you're on. What has been your experience?
I just answer very quickly. Two things. The ownership is either bringing a big name guy in to put fans in the seats and really don't care about the chemistry. And then there are coaches that bring players in and they care about the chemistry. And those are the ones that usually win championships, right? But chemistry is a very big part. You got to go out and get guys to fill the holes that you feel like are void in your game. But whatever team, whatever sport it is. And again, I just think from that, what I just said, ownership do it for two reasons. They bring in a big name to put fans in the seats because, oh yeah, we got such and such on our team, and they get the hopes up, thinking because we bring such and such in, we're gonna win championships. But then they don't look at the chemistry. There's no chemistry there. And then the teams that you see them continuously winning year in and year out, they are more concerned about chemistry. A la the Kansas City Chiefs. You see how they drafted, in the draft. They said we need somebody to go over top, right? We're not gonna draft a popular guy. We're drafting the guy that best fits what we're doing so we can win championships. So with those two examples, that's what I think when it comes down to these teams. Are you drafting? Are you bringing somebody in to put fans in the seats? Now they like, okay, they trying to do something, but you like, okay, we're not gonna worry about the chemistry. We know that's not gonna work. Or you bring that guy in because he fits, a la Randy Moss again with the Patriots. He came in wide receiver, boom, the Joker broke records. So,
It is. So I'm sure you're going to see a very interesting NBA season this year. And I'm sure the Hawks are not finished. They're going to need to do something. Well, I tell you what pretty much is going to be finished, I believe. Down the road in College Park, it looks like nighty-night for the Dream. Chicago Sky has went on a 6-1 run here late in the game. And with 23 seconds left, they've just scored again. And the score is now, with 23 seconds to go in the ball game, Sky 83, Dream 77. So unless we get some miraculous stops here, it looks like the Sky will move into a tie with the Atlanta Dream for that final spot. And I believe they technically right now have the edge because I believe they've beaten them now for the second time this season. So, yeah, like you said, very, very interesting as things go along. Well, I can't believe it, boys and girls. It's about that time. We got to wrap it up.
Before we wrap up,
go ahead, pop on in.
Everybody, if you are not watching Wimbledon, you're missing out on some excellent tennis. So tune in to Wimbledon. I mean, oh my goodness, the tennis is amazing. We have so many Americans that are just doing exceptionally well. Just make sure you watch. Even if you're not someone that typically watches tennis, tune in. I can assure you, you will love the games, and they are exciting.
Yeah, obviously, big change in the guard. Names that have been around for 2 decades are fading out now. Of course, we don't have the Williams sisters. We don't have Rafael Nadal. He will not be playing. A lot of great names that we know that have dominated tennis for the last 15 to 20 years are not there, but a lot of new stars coming up. And, of course, on the women's side, we have the Miss Coco Graf and other people that are making their move to be the new queens and kings of tennis. All right, guys, you know how we do it. Before we let you go off the air, we want to make sure that you know more about our host, co-host, and guests. So, you know how we do it. Mr. Tyrone Poole, the floor is yours.
Hey, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Miss Tree, and everybody watching. And Sullivan, I saw the burgers and fries. I know Tree didn't eat her fries and she didn't eat that burger, man. Not the way she tries to keep herself in shape. The queen got to stay in shape. So I know the queen didn't eat no French fries. But anyway,
you're wrong.
Wrong. The queen ate French fries. Oh man. But no, Tyrone Poole 38 all social media.
Thank you, Tyrone. See you soon. Miss Tree Dolman, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'll tell you a secret. French fries are my weakness. But I will say, Tyrone is right. I normally do not eat French fries, but I did eat the ones at Village Burger just because I wanted to taste them. But I do stay away from fried foods because I do like eating healthy. But you can find me on social media at Purple Diva 13, as well as Miss America International 2022.
The queen has spoken. All right, guys, like you said, we got to get out of here, but want to encourage you. You see all the crazy stuff going on in this world. So I just want to let you know, please, if you don't have a relationship with God by having a relationship with his son, Jesus Christ, you need to do it. Because here's why. Number one, nobody loves you like him. not your auntie, not your bae, not your boo, not your ride and live partner, none of those people, because none of them love you so much to come here upon the earth, die for your sins. But the good news is he rose from the dead. And if you repent of your sins and believe in that, two great things happen. Number one, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, you become an adopted child of God with all the rights therein. That now means you can go to God like a heavenly parent, asking for anything that you need or desire, and according to his will, he'll grant it to you. And number two, when you die, you go to that wonderful place called heaven, where there's none of the following: no pain, no pandemic, no bad people everywhere. You never get old, you never get sick, you never die. It's sunny all the time. And you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the things I just mentioned will not be in hell. It's dark, it's dreary, it's painful, it's terrible, and you're cut off from God, from Jesus Christ, and all the people of love forever and a day. I don't know about you, but like option number one instead of option number two. All right, guys, until the next time we get back together again, God bless you and have a wonderful rest of the day or evening, whichever may apply. So long and take care.